this. I'll figure this out. Bro, he must be out of his mind, bro. Bro, you. Like, do you not. Bro, do you not see this guy? Andrew Schultz, right? Charlemagne, do you. Wasn't he on this or something? Brilliant idiots. Wait a second, guys. Oh, wait, I should put. I've never played this in my life. Okay, guys, so I've never played Warzone ever. So this about to be, they about to hack me, bro. Bro, I heard you get hacked on here, bro. We're gonna watch this. I've never even seen this before. Let's see what this is. Okay, we got some demonic stuff. Oh my god. Yo, this is crazy. Wait, I just want to show y'all something real quick. Okay. So that is wait, look at this thing, right? Oh my gosh. The kid. Bro, that looks just like this. That looked just like that. So like that face tracking thing, like they have a camera that you can hold up and it'll just track your face. So like if they put that on like a drone, this means you're in the Illuminati. This means you're going to Oh, I don't. I don't. Guys, I've never played Warzone. I think I played it one time. So, okay. Mini prompts. Okay. Okay. Oh my god, I gotta sign in. Bruh. Okay. Okay. Wait a second, guys. We might have to do something else. I didn't know I was gonna have to sign in. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we are currently in Arkham's Asylum. Okay. Bro, I done made so many accounts, bro. Let's check this out. Bro, I'm gonna stream just to stop trading this chart. This joint just closed or something? Oh, just reset. Okay, so we back in the game. We just looking at this. Alright, so oh no, that's a schedule. Ain't nothing there. Okay. Let's see what the deal is with this. What did I? So what did we even just? Bro, I don't know what is going on with this, huh? Well, this is a stream, huh? Is anybody even here? Is anybody here watching this? Because this is a terrible stream. Is anybody here watching this? This okay. Terrible stream. Okay.
So I'm now max funded with Top Step. I just passed the rest of my accounts who have 250k in funding as they allow 550k accounts. I did this without gambling. I did this with a structured approach. Now, for those who don't know, my name is Harry Sharp. I've been trading for 5 years, mainly on personal capital. Back when I started, funding was a lot different. The space was not really as popular. Now, passing account is not impressive, but if done properly, it's a very important step. Getting a payout is, which we'll talk about. So I want to cover these accounts. The first thing I want to show here is this. Basically, this is my transaction history. So I first bought a first 50k just to test out the platform. I passed that. I made a video about that on my channel. Had a 100% win rate, was pretty easy to pass. So if we go to the account, you can see I took a small withdrawal. I'm up.
I made $10,000 in 2 weeks trading futures using funded trading accounts, and I had almost no risk doing this as well. I'm going to explain this entire process to you and walk you through the whole thing. But first, I just want to verify so you guys can see. So you can see that I have 2 withdrawals here, 1,200 and 800. I've also been cataloging this on my Twitter. The link will be down below if you guys want to follow along. Again, so this was my latest one that actually just got withdrawn last night. So you guys can see. So again, it's 5 accounts, just to let you know. But again, that was 6,000. First payment was 4,000. And so this is really what I've been trying to track and go over. And I've been doing a lot of testing about how we're doing this as well. And just to let you guys know, I have lost money on another broker. Again, that broker actually went under Fast Track Trading. So again, you got to be careful which platforms you are using. That's the first thing that I want to tell you guys right now. And that's why I'm doing this first. And I didn't want to make a video on this until I actually got my money delivered to my bank account. So again, this is where we're at. So number one, I'm going to tell you right now, before we go any further, the one I would recommend is Top Step to start with. I think they're probably the best one in the industry. I'll tell you that right now. Number 2, I would use My Funded Futures. Again, I like them as well. I have some accounts with them. I have not been paid out yet, but I know I have some friends that have used them, and I know they're legit. And they're actually calling out Top Step for being a bad broker. And transparency's sake, that account is actually down currently. I have only paid for those, but this is like I've been scaling to that, and so I'll go into this here in a second. But to give you, for instance, there, okay. So the first thing right now is going over what is a funded account and how do you get involved and how do you start using them. And this is kind of how we'll go down this rabbit hole as well. And again, I also use Tradeify. I do want to let you guys know that. So I use Top Step as number one, and I think you should start small before you scale up. But we'll talk about that here in a second. Number two is My Funded Futures. Number three is Tradeify, and those are all a little bit different. This is my Tradeify account. You can see that this is currently up. I need to get these really like to 7,000 to 9,000, so we're almost there. I'll be tracking a lot of that here on the channel as well. But what are, Top Step accounts? What is this, or what is a funded account, and how do you get involved with this if you're interested? But quickly breaking this down, a funded account is you use and you pay to do an evaluation, $50 in this case with Top Step. And then if you pass that evaluation, prove that you can make money and that you're a good trader, then they give you a funded account, and then you can withdraw after a certain set of those rules have been accomplished and to your bank account. And in my case, that was around 2 weeks of me making that much money, right? And 2 withdrawals, 2 weeks, right? So what we're doing there. So really quickly, let me explain the rules and kind of what takes place, and then why I think this is kind of the best barrier to entry for new and beginning traders. Okay. And before I go over the rules, I'll actually kind of go over why I think it's the best thing for new traders. Number one, it's going to make you follow rules and actually have a guideline to why you should be getting into trades, why you can't lose so much money and blow up an account. And it's going to limit your losses. So if I pay $50 for an account, the most money I can lose in my account is $50, right? Now, if I pay $50, I pass, and I go to eval, I'll be worth $200 in the account, but the most I can still lose is $200, but the most I can make in this case, was a really good amount of money, which was about $2,000 for that $200 investment on that account, right? That's just on one account, multiplies by 5, right? And so those are things to understand. You can limit your overall loss. And in the beginning phases of trading, I think that's one of the most important things that you can do is limit how much you're trying to lose and understand what you're trying to trade and how you're trying to trade and become that better version of a trader. Okay, so going over these rules really quick to break this down. Your objectives right here, you can click this, but I already clicked it over here.
Okay, I'm about to make an account, so 1 second. 1 second. So this is the plan. I'm about to start a funded account. Try to do a funded account. That's going to be the plan. Okay, so okay. Wait 1 second. Okay. We are currently trying to make.
You keep me under your spell. You keep me under your spell. iPhone drop. You keep me under your spell. You're so weird. You keep me under your spell. You're so weird too.
Okay, let's see if this works. So, oh no, Call of Duty's still going. Oh, okay. Oh, looks like this stream is cooked, bruh. Okay. Well, I guess we can just watch some crypto news or something. We about to watch some crypto news. Okay.
Is right here. And I think this is a little bit, I don't want to say misleading, but it's a little bit straightforward. But let me explain exactly what this means. Your profit target, you got to make $3,000. Your maximum loss limit, again, I think it's a little misleading, but $2,000. And let me explain exactly what's happening here. Okay, so your profit, very simple. You start at 50,000 on your account, you buy a 50,000 account, you have to make $3,000, you get to $53,000, right? But the part that, in my opinion, that's a little bit tricky is the loss limit right here. This loss limit right here of $2,000. So let's say I start at, I have a chart, right? I start at 50K, okay? Right? And the chart's slowly going up and we get to 51, right? Right, bad 5. We get to 51, okay? Now, my max loss limit is no longer just getting down to 48, okay? It goes to now 49. That's the max loss I can have right there, right? So this scales up with this. So as I increase, I can't lose that much more money, right? At the end of the day, too, it's important to understand that this is what your account ends at the day. So if I end a day up $1,000 here, my max loss limit is still $2,000 back down to 49K. So if I lose my money down to 49K, what happens? This is the biggest question I get asked. So, Tyler, how much are you risking? I'm only risking the $50 that I, invested into buying this account. That is it. This is not my money. This is important to understand that, right? Now, a step further is understanding, what's really happening after that.
Okay, so the plan is to get a $50,000 account, and I'm gonna stake all of it, pull up.
Right. But the next step beyond that is, well, what happens if I get to, 52K, right? 52, right? I make my way up there. Then my max loss is, again, 50,000 down here. And if I get to 52, get to 52.5, right? You keep going up, scaling up. My max loss is still going to stay at that 50K range down there. So again, you have to read the fine print, but 50K is basically where that buffer ends. So it won't go beyond that. And so that's going to be the very important thing for you to understand what you're watching for there until ultimately you get to 53K. And so the question is, what happens when you get to 53K? What happens after that? Okay. Then you ultimately get funded. That's important to understand. Okay. And then understanding your 50% consistency rule right there as well. I want to make sure this is very understood. Your 50% consistency rule is very simple to understand. You cannot make more than 50% of your profits in one day, at least into your goal, right? So if my goal is to make 53K, then I could only make $1,500 in a day, right, to be funded. So if I reach, 1,500 the first day, 1,500 the second day, then I can get funded. If I make 1,500 one day, 750 one day, 750 another, I would not, you would be able to be funded after that because, again, you may only make 50%. But if you were to make, for instance, 2,000, then 750, and then whatever, you have to reach until you get, 4,000 is your goal. Whatever that consistency equals 4,000, to 50% of that 4,000. Okay, so very simple to understand. Not hard to do the math. Just understand that. But again, I wouldn't really recommend trying to just pass it immediately. That's how you blow up accounts really quickly. Is just trying to get overzealous. Then the next step is moving into funded rules. This is like the good part. So if you go back to my account, I want to make something really clear. Typically, when I'm trading in Dallas, okay, 50 rules going up, 52, right? This is for these things that you can do is limit how this is $200. I pay $50 for rules and actually for 2 weeks, right? Okay, to be getting into trades, pay $50, $2,000 for the eval, $200. One of the most important for these rules, really quick to break this down. Your objectives right here. You can click this, but I already clicked it over here. Is right here, and I think this is a little bit. I don't want to say misleading, but it's a little bit straightforward, but let me explain exactly what this means. Your profit target, you got to make $3,000. Your maximum loss limit, again, I think it's a little misleading, but $2,000. And let me explain exactly what's happening here. Okay, so your profit, very simple. You start at 50,000 on your account, you buy a 50,000 account, you have to make $3,000, you get to $53,000, right? But the part that, in my opinion, that's a little bit tricky is the loss limit right here. This loss limit right here of $2,000. So let's say I start at, I have a chart, T1 right there, $1,000, $50 after, and read the fine. So the question, I want to make sure this is my goal over. I'm interested in trading funded futures is because one, a lot of my audience doesn't have that initial capital. And I always thought this was an interesting viewpoint of funded futures and getting involved in that as far as not having to risk that much money. The other part of that too is trading futures. You traditionally have to have a decent bit of money into that account, right? So there's two big aspects. Now, if you want to trade options, again, I don't think you need a crazy amount of money, but I still think 3,000 to 5,000 is where you have to start. Trading futures, as I mentioned, you could do this with this little $200. You get funded, and then you buy the evaluation, get funded. It's $200. It's that simple, right? And you can make good money, right? But I think it's much more difficult to make with options with less money. So I think that's a very big part. But if you watch me trade options, I think risk reward and making bigger gains than your losses is very key. If you look here, my best day, was $700. My worst day was 290. I've only had one red day, as you can see on my chart here. But for me, it's all about just consistency on the account, just slowly making more money. Yeah, eventually I'll have a big chunk day where I do really well, but my goal is never to double the account in a day. It's to just get the continuation, slowly scale the account up, and just slowly pay myself every week. It's like a job, right? I'm not looking to get rich quick off this. It's just consistency. Because the reality is this: if I can make $4,000, even though I made $6,000 my last payout, if I can make $4,000 a week, that's still roughly $16,000 a month. Very important to understand that metric and what's happening there. And then after you make your first $10,000, they take 10% of your, for their cut, 90-10, which is still fine. Like I'm still totally okay. It's still $14,400. Yeah. Still really good money. Okay. So important to understand that metric, and that's really my goals. And so that's really how I'm approaching this. So it's different than trading options of I'm not looking to make, it's not as skewed as options. Options, the strategy is a little bit different as far as me getting in and getting out. I'm a lot quicker with these. These are obviously my trades, they'll last a lot shorter amount of time. So that's very important to understand. So again, going back into what happens when you're funded. Okay. So I want to make this really clear. In order to pay yourself, okay, number one, you have to have 5 days of making $200 or more. That's all you have to do. So if I step in the market, I make $200, I'm done. And so as I go into my other accounts and talk to you about the scaling plan, this is really important to understand. When I make my money traditionally, I don't try to stay in the market and just keep trading. I'll move on. I'll go to my options account. I'll go to my another futures account, things like that. Okay. Your max loss limit is still $2,000, but this is very important to understand. Once you withdraw your money, that changes very quickly. Okay. So I start at, technically on this, when you go to funded, you'll start at 0. That's what it'll show your account at. Okay. Your max loss is still, $2K. Okay. You have no target limit. You got to make $200 a day, which is technically like $1,000 basically. Okay. But if you make $200 and you lose $150 the next day, you make $200 again, you still count 2 days. Okay. So let's say I'm making my money. Okay. And I get all the way up to like $1,000 basically. Okay. But if you make $200 and you lose $150 the next day, you make $200 again, you still count 2 days. Okay. So let's say I'm making my money. Okay. And I get all the way up to, let's say 1,000. Okay. So 1K. Okay. Now I get to 1K. When I withdraw my money, I can only withdraw 50% of my money from my account until I have 30 days of consistency of $200 a day. Then I can withdraw as much money as I want from my account. Okay. Very important to understand that. But the second I withdraw this money, as it was scaling up back here, okay, we go back here. Remember how it was scaling up to maybe 51K? It was down to 49K was our bottom. No, this changes now. So when I'm using this, it's important to understand, okay, if I withdraw $500, 50% of my account, my max loss now is back down to 0 again. Okay. So that means if I hit 0, then my funded account is over with. So you have to be kind of delicate with how you're trying to withdraw your money and understanding your risk and what's happening there. The other cool part here though, is there is no consistency rule. So if you do have a big day of, let's say you make $2,000 in this account, which would be pretty good for a 50K account, right? You do really well. You just slingshot right up, right? All you have to do is go back and make $200 more for more days. You can withdraw as money as much as you want. Okay. So important to understand that the rules are very direct. There's no hidden gimmicks or anything like that. Okay. That's at all. I mean, I think TopStep does a really good job at explaining it. And compared to some of these other brokers, they're not very strict on getting your withdrawals, like very, very, very direct. Them and my funded futures are very, very similar. And so that's very important to understand. Now, okay, I've explained getting into them, how they work, etc. That makes sense. Okay, the next part is scaling. If you're interested in this, and this is the part that I think funded accounts offer a very, very interesting metric. Okay, so to start out, right, I started with $1,000 in this, right? It's just 1,000, right? My drawing on my mouse is terrible, right? And I was able to turn this $1,000 into 10K. And I have the evidence. I've shown it on there on Twitter. It's all there, right? Now, I couldn't just keep these Top Step accounts and keep trying to, milk this and make, another 10,000 in 2 weeks or whatever it may be. Or I could keep these Top Steps, but I could also reinvest this into other accounts like My Funded Futures, okay? And so My Funded Futures, they have a limit of 3 accounts, but I got 3 accounts again with them. I think it was like worth $600, those accounts. But they're larger accounts, let you know, by the way. So $600. And then I can aim to make, let's say I can make every 5 days, my goal is to make, realistically, $1,500, okay? Let's just say. Dude, my drawings are tough, okay? $1,500. And then I also took some of this, right, to a Tradeify account and got, 3 accounts. And my goal with this, and let's say these did cost, I can tell you right now, it was about $1,100, I believe, for those 3, okay? And my goal here is to make another $1,500, okay? Now, really quick, I'm going to just get rid of this because I made 10K, don't get me wrong. But my goal here is going to be on these accounts to make, 4K. Conservative. I want to be very conservative, right? 4K a week. And this is just weekly, right? These are not like outlandish goals. This is just what I want to make per week, right? So quickly, this adds up to where you potentially could be making $6,000 a week just off these. And again, it sounds aggressive, but it's really not. Because again, off this 4K, you're really just trying to make $200 to $250 a week or a day. Not that much. On these accounts, again, they're bigger accounts, so you scale how you want. But yeah, still not that aggressive for what I'm doing. And so this quickly compounds. And you're doing this with not a lot of equity. And that's the very interesting part. Now, and that's how I'm approaching this. And this is literally what I've done. So like I have not withdrawn the money from these. Obviously, this account's red, so I can't withdraw money. I'll keep you guys updated on how I'm doing this. This account's green, looking fine, but right? But I want to make something very, very clear. This right now is the most scalable way to trade with less equity. If you have less initial equity, it is the most scalable way. There's no other way, in my opinion, out there that offers the path to monetary success in trading like this right now. Personal opinion, okay? But the thing that I will tell you is it's very difficult, okay? It's very, very difficult. I don't think that these companies are predatory, but I do believe that in order for these companies to make money, besides like Top Step and My Funded Futures, still, they make the most money when you fail your accounts and blow your account up. That is how they make your money, by you coming back over and over and blowing your account up and just continuing to pay a subscription fee, okay? Right? Very important to understand that. And so you need to understand, and this is what I tell people too, is don't go into it and buying 5, 10 accounts, whatever it is. Go with one. Once you prove to yourself you can succeed in doing it on one account, then buy another. And then you just slowly scale that. It's not a rush. When you go into this, I could have started this and bought 20 accounts across 10 different platforms, but I wanted to do it with a purpose to show people that you want to slowly scale. It's like any business, and you have to treat it like that and respect it like that, or you will lose a lot of money. And I want to make sure I'm not pushing this agenda like get funded accounts, you're going to get rich tomorrow. No, I've had success, maybe a little bit of luck too, but I want to make it very clear that you gotta treat this like a job, guys. You have to treat it very seriously. But if you treat it seriously, I think the monetary potential here is fantastic. Some of the best that I've seen across the board. And you can really make serious money. If you guys are interested too, I recommend following on Twitter. Again,
Anybody in the chat? Let's see. Nobody in the chat. Somebody in the chat. Oh, bro, let's see what's going on. Top Step. Okay, so let's watch another Top Step.
I was able to pass my combine in 2 days, and this is how. Most traders take weeks to pass the combine. I'm not really knocking you for that. In secret, the passing it in just 2 days is calculated risk. So profit target with Top Step is $3,000. And I knew if I risked $500 to get $1,500 in 2 days, I could pass. And also with going with 3-to-1 risk to reward and being strict on that, I knew I had a couple ties where I could keep building myself to break even or eventually hit my take profit for the
What does the interface of the top step look like?
Yo, what is going on, traders? So today we are going to look at a huge futures prop firm called Top Step. Now, everyone's been talking about Top Step for the last couple of days because they just announced that they will exclusively be offering Project X, which is a trading platform that they had been highlight some pros and cons. That's not popping up. Go away. There we go. Let's look at their evaluation model. So it's very clean. I love it when prop firms do this. They have a very clean homepage, and Top Step understands that with these prop firms that you see that offer like 10 different challenge types and different types within the challenge types, they are shooting themselves in the foot. People get overwhelmed. I'm like an expert in prop firm trading, and when I see 10 different products, I don't even want to try to start figuring out which one's the best one. I want a clean offer, I want few choices, and if they're competitive, it will speak for itself. So that's what they do. They have three challenge sizes, but one challenge type: 50K, 100K, and 150K. Now, which one's the best one to take? That's a little bit of a complicated question, but I think for the vast majority of people watching, the 50K is going to be the best bet. And that's because it's a little bit more forgiving if you're figuring it out.
All right, y'all, today is payout day. So what I want to do is just identify and show you guys what it looks like to get a payout. I'm going to tell you off the jump, though. I don't show my numbers. I'm just funny about that stuff. Let's get right into it. So as you guys can see, we are eligible for the payout. So if you see, we're a 5-day winning streak. So you guys see right for a payout. So what we do is take the full 50%. So that's just how it goes. And we're gonna let it load. And so typically what I do is take the full 50%. So that's just how it goes with Top Step. They want you to take that 50%. Once you do that, you can, continue to compound. So if I can be honest, I do like Top Step's rules of consistency because it helps you become a better trader. So when I was funded for the first time and then blew my account for the first time, I tried out a different prop firm and they didn't have as many rules, and I just didn't do well because I felt like I was free of no rules. So me personally, I know some people have issues with it, but me personally, I like the Top Step rules. So okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the bank transfer. Some people use Wise, but I do the bank transfer, so let's click that. And okay, so we got my information right here, and
Trying to see what this interface looks
After
like.
there's sometime soon. And if I'm being completely honest with you, the first thing I wanted to do, I truly wanted to enter off of this fair value gap. But since we had broke structure to the downside in the 15-minute, I didn't really trust it. And I was like, okay, let me hold off a little bit. But in reality, going to the 30-minute, all it was just a retracement.
even though we had a 15-minute breaker structure in the, or since even though we had a breaker structure in the 15-minute, we also had just a retracement in the 30-minute. And this is what I mean. Like I said, we break structure to the downside here, but in the 30-minute, we don't break structure to the downside at all. It's just a retracement. And that's where I failed actually in a couple of my trades before.
I'm just trying to see like what stock are they trading or whatever. Like,
TopStep has made some major changes to their live program, and it's honestly upset a lot of traders in the community. We're going to cover some of the changes that they made. We're not going to read through the whole help section of their live department. We're going to cover some key things that TopStep has changed that some of the traders aren't really happy about. Before we jump into this video, we are live every single day right here on this channel, Monday through Friday at the New York Open. You can watch us trade live right here in front of you. I trade a real live money account as well as prop firm accounts, and I do it all live here on this channel. We trade the New York Open and we stream Asia session as well. So if you want to catch any of those live streams, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. All right, we are on TopStep's website right now. We are going to jump into the support section and just go into, we're going to go into eligible express funded accounts. Only accounts with at least one payout are included. The average is rounding up to the next tier of express funded by 5 that comes out to us. So they have different tiers that, like they say here.
that's all. So we're waiting on anybody out there. So what do we all see? Okay, I'll see this. What is this going to
Here they have the 50K,
I'm here to tell you that a
100K, and
$50,000
$150K
funded account that can only cost you $200 can make you financially free. So essentially, if you have the skill set and you do it right, for $200, you could be financially free. You could do with every
Okay, maybe we'll just make this into a crypto video or something. Okay, so this guy.
everything you said you wanted to do with only $200. Now, that is a bit of a big claim, but what I want to do is show you an example in this video and show you that what you're dreaming of and what all of these big flashy things that social media throw in front of us is not exactly what we want, but it's to understand that the more.
Wait a second.
of the process that freedom is a lot closer than we think. And if we do everything in our power and we
See, this is the part where you're starting to lose me, bro, with this. Okay, let's see what he says. He's about to say, he's like, freedom.
work as hard as we possibly can and only focus on the goodwill and the grace of our hard work to be rewarded because we're ethical and we're doing it right, we will live that financial free lifestyle. So before I begin this video, my name is Dan Chung, aka Champ. I got up to 2.5 million in terms of funding, did 85k in one single month. More than that, I've taught hundreds of traders how to become profitable, but let my actions speak louder than words by showing you today on how a $50,000 account could actually change your life, and all you need is $200 to get started. So let's get to it. Okay, so when it comes to the challenge, what we can look at is a $50,000 account actually only cost $164 at CK Capital. Now we can use, let's just say the heavyweight challenge is a 10% profit target, a 5%, and then 8% drawdown, 4% loss. Now, regardless of this, what I want to show you is that on a $50,000 account, so what I wanted to show you is on a $50,000 account, it's more than enough to make you financially free. A lot of people are chasing for 10 million funded, 2 million funded, and that's okay. That's absolutely fine. But what I want to explain to you and what I want to emphasize and show more of is that a small account is more than enough to make you free. Like if you can get consistent payouts on a 50K account, that is more than enough. Imagine if you made 10%, that is $5,000. Do you understand? Like forget the Lambos, forget all of these things. How many months of rent could that pay for? How many meals could that pay for?
Wait, so what can you trade?
Greetings traders, this is Coach Robert with another episode of Top Step X in 5 minutes or less. In this video, we will review the several ways to place orders and enter positions. The easiest way is by using either the order panel or the DOM. By setting these to market orders, we see the market order buttons with buy and sell. We have our quantity buttons here. It shows the quantity that we'll be using, the number of quantity of contracts. We can adjust it here. We can adjust it here with the up and down, or we can just type it in. Either way, that goes for the DOM as well. We can choose the quantity by choosing up and down, or just picking a selection. Let's place a market order. Buy one market. So we are now in a long position. If we want to add a profit target or a stop to this position, we can simply click the order and drag down, in this case, to set our stop loss. We can also click the order and drag up to have a profit target. To close, we can just click the X to close a position. By entering another position, buy one market, down, up, profit, stop, we can choose flatten in either location. Make sure we're on quantity of 1. We can also add positions directly on the DOM. So let's go below here and click. It will put a limit order at the price level selected. It will become.
So here's the question. They got a top step buy. They got a top step buy. Shh. Shut up. Okay, let's do it.
All right, welcome back, guys. In this video, we're going to demonstrate exactly how I created a Top Step X trading bot. And this is the interface for it, and we'll take a look at the interface in just a second. This was by far one of the hardest trading bots I've ever created. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how it was done. So the first thing I did is I went over to ChatGPT, and I
This dude's so crazy. Replit link? What is this? I don't think I even have that account. What is, bro?
By the end of this video, you will be able to automate any trading view indicator or strategies on your TopStep account. This is one of a unique approach that uses computer vision to automate trades, not your traditional APIs or webhooks. This will be in-depth step-by-step guide. The video has chapters, so feel free to skip through the part you like. All right, so first thing what you need to do is you need to remove all the existing indicators that you have on your trading view.
Oh god, this is about to get crazy. They're about to ban me for conspiracies. This is not Warzone action. Guys, is this not interesting to you? So with Bitcoin on Top Step? Bro, is there no like what is this, bro?
If you've ever traded with a prop firm, you know this one truth. Getting funded is one thing, getting paid is a whole different game. And most traders don't.
I'm gonna go back to this guy. This guy's saying like you can really get some money in.
Like if you go out to eat, $5,000 is an insane amount of money. So you make 10%, you can do that. Imagine, just listen, just imagine. You made this every quarter. So on every quarter you made 10%. That means you have $5,000 divided by 4, right? Because it's per quarter. Let me just do it equals. Fucking this shit. Which means you have $1,250 per month. Do you see what I mean? So in a year, you would then have made $20,000. That's the average salary. Now let's bring this back. Imagine if you can make 10% every 2 months. Every 2 months, you could make that. That means you would make $30,000 in a year. Not only that, you would have $2,500 per month to spend, or to invest, or do everything you do. So my point is right here, I've just given you the modeling plan that $50,000 could essentially set you free. And that's what we got to understand is like, okay, cool, we can do that, but then even on $100,000, and then let's look at $500,000. $500,000 then puts you at $300,000, $25,000, $50,000, and that's when we talk about scalability, but that's not what this video is about. This video is just to explain to you that $50,000 is more than enough for you to get funded. So if that's the case, don't you think if we had that mentality of understanding that $50,000 challenge is enough, all we need to focus is making the $50,000 and passing it, getting funded and getting consistent payouts, that is more than enough. The problem is I see a lot of people going for these 100Ks, 200Ks, even just trying to get multiple accounts all the time. Just pick one account size. It could be 5K, it could be 10K, get consistent and get to 50K and then stay at 50K until you can get consistent payouts. And then you know you are free. From there you can scale up. You can then have more luxuries, more whatever it is that you want to do. But my point of the video is that what you're seeking is not the larger, the materialistic things. All you're trying to seek is a little bit of success in trading to be able to be consistent at it and show up every single day. Now, what I want to leave on is these 3 steps. These 3 steps I talk about a lot in my course, but regardless of the course, I want to talk about this in a more in-depth details to leave you on this, because those who are watching this far understand, okay, I really know 50K can make it happen, but how do I make it happen? Is you can do it in 3 simple steps. Is number 1, go and find a trading strategy. A trading strategy that works. A trading strategy is proven by the mentor, but also can be proven by yourself. Now remember, if it works for someone, it might not work for you, but it's important to learn everything you can from them and model them and just figure, hey, what is it that I understand? What is it that I like from this? And what can I take from here to implement it into my trading strategy and myself? Now, once that strategy works, then you have to go into the psychology, which is things like understanding that 50K is more than enough. Why? It gives you the visualization to say 50K is what I want to be funded. That's what I'm going to manifest. That's what I'm going to focus towards. It's $164. I'm going to keep buying these challenges. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to improve. Every challenge is going to be better than the last. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. That is already a psychology for formula and the success formula. Now we couple that with the last bit, which is what I teach, is the becoming profitable. That becoming profitable bit is doing your to-do list, right? And this to-do list, which is talking about your trading strategy, your mantra, your daily report card, your review list, absolutely everything on here, understanding yourself and understanding your playbook to absolute detail and to every single finer detail, so you are able to know what you do in every trading decision. That plan is so bulletproof, you cannot fail. So once you have that and you do these things, and then you have, say, your journals that you're staying up to date with, even here you can have access to my free journal, which I've posted on Discord. We can see my trading plan, my daily report cards, and all of my trades and everything on there. That is how you're going to become a profitable trader. Showing up every day, doing these things, doing your reps, being in a community, and investing in yourself. So if you want to take it further, don't forget to sign up for our waitlist, which is down below. Or if you're watching this at the time of the release, we accept 50 people every single time into our course. It's only £299. That's right, it's only $299, which is less than this microphone, less than my headphones, less than everything on this table. And for $299, you get to learn the strategy, the psychology, and becoming profitable, all for...
Okay, that's gonna be the end of this video. I don't know, is this the end of the stream? I'm not sure. Yeah, that's gonna be the end of the stream. That's gonna be the end of the video. I'll holler at y'all later. I don't know if I'm thinking about how much to upload this, but I'll holler at y'all later.